Hello everybody, Kyle here, and welcome back to part 3 of my add-on Spotlight series. In this week's episode, we're going to look at 4 UI add-ons that I find highly useful. One thing I should point out is that UI is a large category in the add-on space. These are going to be things that are also very quality of life, but I didn't really have a great way to lump them in any other way. So this week we're going to look at Dark UI, which is a reskin to the user interface, Bank Manager Revive, which is going to help you move money and items around in your bank, Port to Friend's House, which is going to allow you to quickly move to other houses within the game, and finally Memento Bar, which is going to make using your mementos a lot faster. The first add-on we're looking at this week is Dark UI. Dark UI is an extremely minimal reskin to Elder Scrolls Online. So minimal, in fact, that we're going to have to point out some things as we turn the add-on on. So right now we're looking at the general base game, no add-ons enabled. You'll notice here the bars at the bottom, they have a little bit of a shadow to them, right? We've got some red, and then we have a little bit of a kind of a glare or reflection on the top. We're going to see that go away. One other thing to point out is when we look at items in the inventory, look around the edges of that Covenant Ballista right there. You're going to notice that there is a gold border to it. These are the small things that are going to be stripped away as soon as we enable the add-ons. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. Okay, after installing the add-on and doing a quick reload UI, you're going to notice a couple changes. As mentioned, these bars at the bottom are health, magic, and stamina have become more flat-looking, more modern, more simple in their approach. You'll notice the glare is gone. Now, if we open up our inventory menu and take a look at some of these items, you'll notice the bright gold borders have also disappeared. There's going to be some other smaller changes throughout that you might pick up on, but those are 2 general examples. It's a really nice add-on, and there is some saying that it reduces load on your system because it strips out some elements. So that could be of benefit to you, especially if you're running a rig that tends to be a bit slower when you're performing in the game. The next add-on we're going to look at here in just a second is Bank Manager Revived. This is a personal favorite of mine, and I don't have it set up yet on this character, so I'm going to show a really quick walkthrough of how we do it. It's an add-on that makes saving money a bit of an easier process. So first, let's go into settings and see what options we have before a little top-down explanation. So you can see I'm still running Dark UI. Now we have Bank Manager installed. So first of all, profiles. You can set these and run them at different times. Well, what are the profiles actually pertaining to? I find the most useful to be dealing with moving items automatically and currencies. Currency is probably the easiest. So one thing I do to save money is I will set this keep currency option right here. This is going to tell the add-on that I only want to keep kind of X amount of gold in my character's inventory. So I usually run around with about 8,000 gold on me. 8,000 is a good number. I can spend it on a lot of things, like I could buy simple things, but it also keeps me from spending too much money too quickly in the game. So currently my character is running around with like 100,000-ish gold right there. So as soon as I talk to my banker, you're going to notice it transferred the money. So it actually deposited all that money in the bank for me, and I am left with 8,000 gold to this character's name. You could also do it the opposite and say that if you run lower than 8,000, that it would actually fill up to that amount as well. You could do this with other things, including alliance points and Telvar. Another one that helps with kind of guild banks. If you have a guild bank that, we can't access it through him, but if you have a guild bank that accepts donations, you could actually tell it that all duplicate recipes, ones that this character already knows, that it will automatically deposit those into the bank as well. So that's a great way to kind of donate on the fly. It's a really nice add-on. Again, super lightweight. Bank Manager Revived. Our next add-on is a personal favorite of mine. It really speaks to the housing owner in me. It's called Port to Friend's House. Now, as you can see on the screen, it is a window that displays usernames, house names, and a couple other buttons down the side. So we get to this menu by, in our chat box, we type PTF space open. And once we do that, the window pops up. This overlay is basically saying we're looking at a username, their house, and we have the option to port there. So if we want to go to any of my houses down here, I've got a bunch of mine listed, we could just click port. Now, just the other day, I bought the gardener house in Wayrest. So let's go ahead and add that house in, and we'll kind of demonstrate the functionality. So we go down this list of all the houses in the game. They keep it very updated, like they update really fast. And then we choose gardener house. So since this is one of my houses and I know I'll go there often, I'm going to hit add favorite. So that gets added to the list under my name in alphabetical order of the house. So there's our gardener house. We can choose to give it a keybind or call it, well, this is a system where we're calling it a favorite, and we're giving it a number. Then we can make this number correspond to a key. So these don't necessarily have to use any of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keys, anything like that. But basically, in this case, we're going to call this one number 7. And I believe I have number 7 mapped to number pad 7. So I'm going to go ahead and try that on my keyboard, and he should start porting immediately. I may not have that one mapped yet, so let's go do that right now. So we're going to go down to controls, and then we got to find it. Okay, here's port to friends. Number 7 was not set to a key yet. So we can set this to anything, but I'm just, for simplicity's sake, going to keep it number 7, and I can bind that key. This works if you have a macro keyboard or anything like that. Makes it very easy. And then now if I exit out of there and I push the number 7 key on my my numpad there, I am immediately going to start porting. You see, I don't have to go into any menus or anything like that. I've gone one step further. As a streamer, I have an Elgato Stream Deck, and basically that's a bunch of buttons that actually have a display. You could put a picture there, and so I have pictures of all of my houses, and I think I can just splash that up on the screen for you guys to see right now. But basically, I click those keys, and it will send me to the house in question. It's super, super handy. So we just bought this one the other night. You can see it's very empty, but very simple add-on. And again, we can use it to port to any of our houses. We can port right back to our Dark Brotherhood house. Very simple, very cool. It will allow you to port to anyone's house, even if they're not online, if it's not their primary residence. The only caveat is you do have to have permissions to go to the house. So, for example, if you don't have permissions to go to a friend's house, period, end of story, the add-on's not going to help you get there, but it's really cool if someone you know has crafting tables in a certain house of theirs. Maybe you have a guild leader that does, or something like that. It's a great way to immediately go there and take advantage of the content. The last add-on we're looking at this week is mainly for fun, but also has some function, especially around the holiday events in-game. This one is called Memento Bar. Now, you might notice it up in my top left-hand corner. We have a memento listed there, and I can click it and activate it, and he performs the memento action. As I mentioned, this can be handy. It's a shortcut. What we're doing is taking mementos out of our quick bar, which are a quick wheel that we would usually access through Q, and we're moving them onto its own specific bar. Now, let's make some quick edits to it. We'll go under Settings and go to Add-ons. You'll see Memento Bar here. It has account-wide settings, which makes it really handy. First of all, let's move it around and make it a little more functional. So we're going to unlock it, or we'll go into Position and Size and click Unlock Movement of Bar. That makes it so we can actually move this guy around the screen. I like it somewhere in the bottom, close to middle, right around my action bars. Usually I'd line it up a little better, but we're going to be a little quick and dirty with it today. It looks like there are already some hotkey options for it, which I've not yet checked out. We might get to that in a second. First, let's add some extra things to the bar. So as I mentioned, I think somewhere in here we'll be able to find Bretta's mug for the New Life Festival. I just saw it a second ago. I'm not sure. Here we go. Bretta's Bottomless Mead mug. We'll activate that. Now, you can see it's stacking. If you like it stacked, that's fine by you. I like a more spread out one. So we're going to go ahead. Ooh, I added a lot. It looks like you can add quite a few to the bar. I am just going to change choose the bar depth. So it's the number of rows instead of going up columns. So now if we exit out of this, I apparently have the movement thing turned on. So let's go back. We'll shut that off. We'll make sure it's locked and no longer moving. So we'll need to go back to Position and Size. We will turn off the unlock for the bar. There we go. Go back out into the world, and there we go. I've got it right here. Now, I could move it down if I still had the unlock active there. It'd be super easy to do. But in this case, if the New Life Festival were still going, we could click it, and my guy would gain the extra experience buff. Now, we're out of the season, so it doesn't apply. It's just a nice little animation there. But as you can see, during the holiday events, you don't actually need to take up any quick slots. So that's a big time saver, or a big space saver, I should say. Time saver too, because you don't always want to be running into your memento menu to locate one little thing to apply a buff every 2 hours. It would be really smart around the holidays, and I say really smart because I should have done it. I should have been using this add-on right during the event. It will also work during the Witches Festival and any other that give you a memento that go in that area. So just a nice little quick thing to expedite your life. You can play around with that. I believe it has hotkey options. I really never used them before, so let's go and see if it's listed under here. Unfortunately, this doesn't necessarily put them in order. Aha! Memento Bar right there. We could bind these to hotkeys. That effectively makes it so you could hotkey your mementos. Highly recommend it. If you're someone, especially if you like to do any sort of RPing, or you just have any really cool mementos that you want to show off that you worked for, it's a great way to do it. That wraps up this week's Addon Spotlight. We're going to be back next week with part 4. We're going to look at a couple other quality of life UIs that also straddle that user interface boundary. I hope you enjoyed this week's add-ons. If you want to find my master grid of add-ons, check the description below. I'll have that, as well as invites to the Guild, Discord, and more. I highly encourage you guys to come check us out over on Twitch. If you have any questions about how an add-on functions, and need any recommendations for add-ons, anything like that, please feel free to come over there. That's twitch.tv/Kyle Dempster Studios. We stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, usually starting around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell icon so you get notifications. And I hope to see you back here next week. If you have any other add-ons you'd like me to spotlight or take a look at myself, please feel free to post a comment below. I would happily check them out. I'm a big add-on connoisseur, as you see, with, over, I think I just added a couple more today, so I'm probably over 57-ish add-ons now. Point is, my collection's growing, and I need recommendations from people like you. It's how I grew my database to begin with, and I just love showing them off. Remember, add one add-on at a time so you don't overload your system, and have fun with it. They're a very helpful thing. They will expedite your travels all across Tamriel, and you go ahead and do that. Do some homework on them, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week.